Hi, I'm Mario Mendes and you are watching Just Listen, dedicated to great music and great albums. John Scofield's album Works For Me was released in 2000 by Verve Records. Besides John Scofield on guitar, we can also enjoy the artistry of alto saxophone by Kenny Garrett, piano by Brad Mehldau, bass by Christian McBride and drums by Billy Higgins. This is one of my favorite Scofield's album among almost 50 of his albums that I have listened so far. I have found myself returning to Works For Me so many times over the years, and not only for Scofield, but all the musicians are brilliant and performances are energetic and sound fresh, even after being listened to for dozens of times. The album starts with Alcachu. The main theme is a catchy tune played in unison by Scofield and Garrett. Brad Mehldau just flies over the piano in his excellent solo. Soon after him, Kenny Garrett bursts into short, frantic solo on his alt. Not You Again opens with powerful drums, introduction of Billy Higgins, and he remains the driving force in the background of this track, together with great rhythmic bass play by Christian McBride. Brad Mehldau plays a short solo very much in Tyner-like percussion style. Kenny Garrett puts together a great collection of short bursts from his alto at the beginning of his solo. His sound is clear and powerful, without too many complicated tones. It is precisely what contributes to the flow of the music in this great dynamic tune. Big J is a slower tempo tune with prominent bass line reaching some very deep notes. John Scofield takes his time developing a beautiful solo early in the composition. One of the best guitar solos on this album. Kenny Garrett must have been in a very good mood throughout this session, as his saxophone sounds so alive and creative in this track as well. Mehldau is very modest during this performance. Love You Long Time is one of the most beautiful slow jazz tunes I ever heard. I have returned to this album many times just to hear this composition first, written by John Scofield like all others on this album. Kenny Garrett's alto is just phenomenal here, painting a fragile vista that feels so warm and enchanting. Well, as I said, I really like this track. Mehldau is phenomenal here, Scofield just as well. Higgins' play more reminds me of the great Elvin Jones on moments. In one of the interviews John Scofield gave a few years back, he explains about how he got to know the jazz at all and how he started playing, and it's very interesting to hear it in his own words how it all happened for him.
I started when I was young, when I was 11, and I was just playing, songs that were out on the radio, just like everybody, I didn't know from jazz, really, at that point. Nobody does when they're 11, do they? And then I got into blues, and then I got into jazz music, but not till I was, say, 16 or 17. I started to get jazz records and take lessons from a local guitar player, you know. But I always played in bands as a kid, and a lot of the same musical heroes I have now are the same ones I had then. When I first started to get into jazz, I remember buying, I think I had like 10 records when I was young at one point, you know, and looking back, they were some of the greatest records ever. I had Wes Montgomery live at the Half Note. Art Farmer live, also at the same club, the Half Note. And Jim Hall and Bill Evans duo intermodulation. And then I went to the record store and bought a Pat Martino record called Strings. And then I had a George Benson record called Uptown. And I had these records, and they just blew me away, and I listened to them, I wore them out, and I realized in retrospect that they were some of the greatest jazz records ever. And I also got into Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Thelonious Monk and Bill Evans and Charlie Parker, and had these records, and those guys are still my heroes.
3 times Grammy Award winner John Scofield is regarded today as one of the best guitarists in the world, with over 40 albums under his name. There is a lot of great music just waiting for you. As always, a link to SONGWHIP in the description lets you choose your preferred streaming service for this album. Thank you for watching.